Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to explain you about the 7th and 8th parameters, the last one. And so the 7th one is reading, browsing and searching on the web. See, like on the web, we have unlimited information, but what is necessary for us? What is important for us? With that things we get into dilemma. That means it completely depends on our reading skills, on our browsing skills and our searching skills on the web. Okay, so there are some characteristics for this, like the most sought after web commodity is content. I mean, the content here itself is the main thing for all this, and behavior is often a goal driven. Reading is no longer a linear activity. That means here, like, we need some two-way process, and we get impatient, frequent switching of purpose. That means when we open a website, until we get a specific content, what is important for us, we try to switch all the tabs, right? So that is. And in this also there are certain topics need to be discussed, like initial focus of attention. That means whenever we open a web page, our initial focus, where our attention goes, like it goes to the title of the page, the graphics, headings and text. Okay, and the page is seen in terms of size, color, text and graphics. That means now, even if in this video also, whenever you see this video, okay, if I read too much of content, you feel like I think this topic might be very lengthy. You get such a feeling, right? So the users see the web page in terms of the size, color, text and graphics, and the page contents. His main attention goes to the page content, and they usually ignore things are like logos, slogans, all those things in the page. And page perusal, it's like user's eye is drawn to the page text. As I said previously, immediately whenever we open a web page, directly our eye goes to that title, how we have written, like how many lines, the size, like that. And we also find out like if there are any summary parts, like that. And individual words and phrases are read for meanings and relevance. And this page perusal is mainly dependent on scanning and skimming. Like whenever we see this, now after this explanation, you immediately get, okay, page perusal, it's just like a page text headings. You're just scanning the whole data, like that. And we go less concentration on word reading. That means after listening to this video, next time you may not go word by word, just you remember what I have said and you may skim that part. That means you will pick the important lines from that. So for the scanning guidelines, for the organization, they have to reduce the eye movements and grouping of info. That means like the whole content, for this page perusal, all the content must be under it, like as a section, instead of moving to more than 2 to 3 tabs. And writing, we should write all the concise summaries, array of information in tables, bulleted and numbered list. Like if I provided all the summary in a table format, it will be more easier for them. And we need to highlight key information and important concepts also. So this is for reading. Now coming to browsing part, we need to facilitate scanning. We need to provide multiple layers of structure, navigate, like we should have options for navigating easily, respect the user's desire to leave. So this is for browsing. Now we have done with reading, browsing. Now searching. Searching is like we have a lot of problems with searching. Like we may not understand the user, there may be difficulties in formulating search and presenting meaningful results. That means it all depends on our searching skills. So like whenever like we are searching for something on the website, if you provide proper keywords, then you get correct results for that. Instead of that, if you type the whole question, sometimes like unrelated topics may be shown in that. And for searching, search facility guidelines, there are a few things here, like know your search user. First you need to know the search user, then identify the level of expertise of the user. And you need to plan for flexibility, plan for switching process, express the search, like what I need to search, where I need to search, how I need to search, like that. Next, provide method of specifying search. We need to provide parameters, like if you use correct keywords, phrases and variants, then you will get the exact things. And also provide spell checkers, search controls and guidance and assistance. For progressive search, progressive search refinement must be used. We need to launch a search and present meaningful results. Why? It's like it is a main goal, right? And we need to provide a summary of those things, explanatory messages, results presentation. and locatability. I mean, where that information should be located, that is also important. And destination pages, like we need to provide page summaries and highlight the keywords. This is all for reading, browsing and searching. And coming to the last parameter, it is statistical graphics. So what is a statistical graphic is like, instead of presenting the whole, in the text format, you may be doing it in a graphical format. Like you may use pie charts, graphs, all these things. So that means any complex idea can be simply understood. It can be easily communicated clearly and with clarity and precision and efficiently for the users, and this avoids lot of distortion also. That means now this whole content, if I represent in some form of image or like that, you can easily remember than this text format. So some guidelines for the statistical graphic components are like, we need to emphasize the data and we minimize the non-data elements. And like we need to check out with the redundant data. That means we need to avoid the redundant data variation must be employed, and proper context must be there. We need to minimize the data density, fill the display area, and employ data in multiple ways. Now in this also few topics need to be discussed, like axes. So in the statistical graphics we have two axes, x and y. You know all these things. Like x is the horizontal one, which represents time or cause of an event, and y is the vertical, which represents the caused effect. And coming to scales and scaling, like we need to employ linear scaling. That means our scaling must start at 0 like this, and also we need to keep number of digits in a scale to minimum. That means now here I have used 0 and the next one maybe 5, 10 like this. That means minimum digits must be employed in it. And for large data matrices, we need to consider some displaying duplicate axes. And other one is like, we need to maintain consistency across the scaling. That means now here with 5 difference I have used this scale, but if I used like 0, 10, again 20 like this, like 25, now there is no consistency. Here there is 10 difference, here also 10 difference, but here 5 is the difference. You did not maintain any consistency. So you need to go with one particular scaling, and you need to clearly label each axis. That means now this is for some time, then you need to clearly label it. That too in full, we should fully spell it. And the proportion, like the shape of the data, width must be greater than height, like this. And coming to lines, grid lines must be thick, thin or absent. It's okay if there are no grid lines also. And the axis lines must be medium, and data lines must be heavy. So these three things in the lines part. And coming to labeling, we need to separate labeling from ruled lines, and they must be specified very clearly. And coming to the title must be short and precise, and like it must be clear, distinctive title. It should be spelled fully, and uppercase fonts must be used. And aiding interpretation of numbers. That means we need to display grid on the request. That means there must be an option if you want to view. Like I have drawn like this something. I don't know like where it is lying. Like here I have 5, here I have some 5.5 like this. Now this point, where does it come? So based on a user's request, this zoom, displaying the grid must be provided. And permit viewer to click on data point to display actual values. That means there should be an option for them to view the actual values of the data points. And we should also permit toggling between a graphic and the table. And there are different types of statistical graphics, as I said previously. You can go with curves and line graphs, surface charts, scatter plots, bar graphs, histograms, segmented or stacked bars, pie charts. So with this we have completed all the 8 parameters which influence the clarity. Now the last one is like it's very simple, just a single point you need to remember in this. This is like technical considerations in interface design. It is nothing like when you're choosing an interface, what technical things you need to consider. Like you need to consider system power, screen size, resolution, its color, font, bandwidth, communication medium, currency, page printing, maintainability. With this we have completed unit 2. Thank you.